Right, hello everybody and welcome to Hull City Transfer Talk. I did this last summer and I'm going to do it this one as well. This is your weekly show coming out every Wednesday or Thursday. A roundup of all the Hull City transfer rumours, confirmed, departures or arrivals that you need to know from the last 7 days. Bit of a list because it's the first one. Purely because I've covered a little bit more than what I need to, purely because a lot of the rumours are a bit interesting to say the very least. But we're going to start off with the departures which have been confirmed. I did my video on the release list about a week ago, and all the details you need for that are in that video with regards to academy players that have been released. But confirmed departures from that release list in the first team were Max Clark and Max Sheaf. McCann has basically confirmed that Clark was only brought in as backup for Elder because Fleming was injured and they couldn't offer him, now Fleming's fit, the assurances with first team football that he needed. So he's gone elsewhere. And best of luck to both Maxes wherever they go next. And then the obvious one, the one you all know about, is George Long to Millwall. George Long was offered a brand new contract by Hull City, and I'll talk a little bit more on that in a second when we cover REECE Burke. But City and him couldn't come to an agreement, and Long decided to opt for Millwall instead. So best of luck to him on that front. And I wish him the best wherever he goes, because he's a lovely, lovely bloke. And he'll be a good backup for Millwall, good cup goalkeeper. That's what he was for us. After that Chelsea game, after that Chelsea FA Cup game when he was outstanding, he never really recaptured that sort of form that he showed on that day. So, yeah, and obviously losing his place to Matt Ingram this season, he wasn't going to have much luck on that front in getting that back because Ingram was so good. So best of luck to George. But how do we replace him? Do we go outside and bring in someone, dip into the transfer market, or do we use what we already have here? Use the great goalkeeping ranks we have coming through the academy. I know we've got rid of Charlie Andrew and Harrison Folks in the last 18 months, but we've still got Harvey Cartwright, we've still got David Robson. Cartwright, an England underage international, got a cap for England under 18s, I think it is. So do we give him the number 13 jersey that Ingram currently wears and let Ingram take Long's number 1? We'll start the rumoured departures next, if I can open my sheet of paper. So we'll start off with the one which is pretty much more concrete, and it's because Grant McCann has confirmed it himself. He said there's likely to be interest in REECE Burke, and then it has come out today that REECE Burke looks unlikely to sign a new deal with the club. The reason they went for a new deal with Burke and didn't exercise his 1 year option is because that 1 year option would see his salary rise to over £10,000 a week. That salary at this moment in time with COVID and the financial hit of League One and the gap in TV revenue from the Championship, that is not financially sustainable for Hull City. So they tried to renegotiate. It didn't quite happen by the looks of things. So Burke looks to be on his way out when his contract ends with the club on June 30th. Bit of a shame, because Burke's a great defender, great player as well. And it's very unlikely that with what I'm about to tell you in the rumoured arrivals, that we'll get someone of his quality for a low price in the budget that we're working on this season. So we'll have to wait and see on that front. But back onto the rumours section in terms of departures, there are some rumours from some not very credible sources, let's be real. According to Football Insider, Malik Wilks is being targeted by Newcastle United and Crystal Palace. I'm going to say it now, absolute rubbish. Football Insider have also said that Callum Elder is subject to interest from Cardiff, from Derby, from Preston and from Huddersfield. Again, it's more believable than the Malik Wilkes one, but still probably complete and utter rubbish. And Football League World said that Jacob Greaves is subject to interest from Newcastle and Crystal Palace as well. So the same teams that want Malik Wilkes want Jacob Greaves, which I think is unlikely. So that is departures done. Moving on then, if I can fold my sheet of paper over the other way, just give me a moment, you're seeing nout. For the moment, we will have a little deco at the rumoured arrivals. No signings confirmed yet. Nothing confirmed as of yet. But I'm sure in the coming days and weeks there will be some. Because Grant McCann has already said that they are close on the deals for 2 players, and we'll get onto that in a moment. But first, Hull Live has said that Hull City will be operating on a tight budget this transfer window. The window was filled with optimism from the fans before that, but because of that, the doom and gloom merchants have come back out and have basically said, rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. We're awful. That's basically what they've said. And I disagree. Sorry if the lighting on me is really poor. I'm going to try and fix that up just by holding you in a different position, even though it's a bit wonky. So, as I say, City are close on 2 signings reportedly. The most concrete one of those is Regan Slater, reported by Hull Live, and Grant McCann has also said that he is very urgent to get Slater back. And we'll talk about the other 2 loan players in a moment, those being Dan Crowley and Gavin White. But Slater looks as though he will be coming. It looks as though he's the closest of the 3, the closest of anybody to signing for us this summer. However, according to Lancashire Live, City face competition for the signature of the Sheffield United man from Preston North End. According to the BBC, this is the next one, we are interested in Luton Town midfielder George Moncker. Now, I don't know too much about this guy, if I'm honest with you, but what I can tell you is he's a centre midfielder. And I believe that's all. Yeah, we'll look at this one actually. In terms of centre midfielders also, the Telegraph have linked us with Andy Cannon, who was just being released by Portsmouth. The head of sixth form at my school actually is a Portsmouth fan. I'll ask him when I see him tomorrow a little bit more about Andy Cannon. So we'll see if there's any more information on that front. We're moving on to centre-backs now, looking at Jack Tucker. This was initially reported by The Sun that we are interested in the Gillingham centre-half, one of the best young defenders in League One, one of the best young centre-backs in League One, and he would be our potential REECE Burke replacement. However, Hull Live have reported that we will be unable to match the asking price Gillingham are after. So that is that rumour in the bin as well. We'll move on to White and Crowley now. So Grant McCann told Hull Live, Gavin and Dan, they've both been excellent, but at this present time Gavin's got another 2 years on his contract at Cardiff, and I know Dan's out of contract, but there's going to be clubs sniffing around him. And Hull Live have said that Dan Crowley looks unlikely to return to Hull City. I'm just going to pop that a little bit longer so there's a bit more light on my face. And actually I'm not, because the thing's shaking. Great. So, finally then, strikers. 3 rumours I have for you here on the striker position. We've got Dion Charles from Accrington. Hull Live have reported that because of the tight budget, Charles, who we've been linked with for a long time, will be out of the question this summer because we're operating on the budget, and Accrington want £1.5 million for Dion, which by the looks of things City won't be able to pay, which is a shame, but I don't get the logic there. All we need is a striker. If we sell Tom Eaves to raise some funds for that striker, we bring him in, and then we try and pad out the squad with loans and frees. I don't see why we can't spend a lot of that money on getting the striker that we've wanted for a long time. I don't understand that. But that looks unlikely that we'll be able to afford Dion Charles. But however, Josh Windass, a rumour I've said probably won't happen because it's an easy link to make, and Dean Windass, he said Windass is happy at Sheffield Wednesday. However, City are monitoring the situation of Windass at Sheffield Wednesday, and the problem might be his wages. They could be very high. And just to add a bit more fuel to the fire, Malik Wilkes and Josh Windass have been spending a bit of time with each other. That is because they are friends from when they were teammates at Accrington Stanley in, I think, 2017, before Windass joined Rangers. So they still hang out together, and Malik is good mates with Josh and his brother Jordan. But will that happen? I highly, highly doubt it. Finally then, there is Chuba Akpom. According to the Northern Echo, Chuba Akpom is someone we're interested in, obviously formerly of Hull City. We had him on loan in 2015-16 when we went up through the playoffs against Sheffield Wednesday. We've been credited with an interest in Chuba according to those guys at Northern Echo. Am I too sure on the reliability of the source? I couldn't tell you whether they're reliable or not, but we'll have to wait and see on that front. And on that note, that is the end of a very poorly lit episode of Hull City Transfer Talk. Thank you all very much for tuning in, and I will see you next week with a few more updates on our transfer window. Goodbye.